welcome to Dead Man Talking. Big thank you everybody for your amazing feedback and support, and the response to this series is it's been overwhelming. I'm really humbled and excited to see what I can produce for the future of the channel with my own writing. Again, please do like and share this and comment, of course. Guys, as I said before when I've started this series, it will be an interactive series. That means I want you guys to get involved. Please do share and comment with how you think we should take this, what direction, what scenarios in the next chapter that I'll be writing. Of course, if you come to Facebook, DMT's Cabin in the Woods, and just post your ideas there, I'll obviously go through those, and the most suggested or the best scenario idea I will pick, and of course give a shout out to the person that gave me that idea or scenario. Again, thank you ever so much, and without further ado, let's get into tonight's story, entitled The LBL Type 3 Part 5. Let's get straight into that. The night the Dogman thumped his way across my house roof until stopping directly above my bedroom was a moment I have struggled to forget for the rest of my life. Most nights as I lay in bed, I could still hear its heavy breathing and inquisitive vocalization as it searched for what I can only guess as an access point, or rather, a weakness in the roof. As I lay there, listening to its unnatural moans and snorts followed by the heavy thumps of its feet, I could hardly breathe, and my body shivered uncontrollably with fear and adrenaline. I just hoped it would go away. Get bored, you know, leave. Well, it didn't. No. It decided to start scratching at the roof, and soon it was lifting whole tiles off with one swipe of its clawed hand. As it did so, I swear I could hear it almost laughing, like a hyena would with its pack as they hunt. There was a definite excitement as it clawed and began smashing its hands into the now weakening roof. Plaster already beginning to fall to my legs under the bed covers. Sheer panic caused me to scream like I never had before or since. Dad! Dad! As I did so, the Dogman howled, drowning out my screaming, and my chest rumbled, just like Dad had said. I had to move, and now. I sprang out of bed, quicker than a prize buck on the first morning of the hunting season, running for my father's bedroom. I didn't even make it out of my room before Dad was at the bedroom door, gun in hand. He took one glance at me, and then the ceiling. He grabbed me and pulled me behind him, backing us away, and began firing his weapon at the now cracked ceiling, with dust and plaster now falling in chunks, littering my dark blue bedroom carpet. I could hear my mother screaming for us to come. "Hurry up, hurry, hurry up!" she screamed. Dad, fearing for my safety, scooped me up under his arm and we raced downstairs, to which Riz and Dee both met us at the front door. The crashing and scratching sounds from the Dogmen ceased noticeably as soon as we touched the last step of the staircase. All that was left was my mother's sobs and Dad reassuring her everything will be okay. "It's coming down this side," shouted Dee. "Let's move now," he shouted again. You could hear the Dogman's claws clacking against the house as it climbed its way down, and then there was a thud. It had jumped whatever was left and now was on the grass outside. Riz running over to the window and firing off a few rounds at it, and then it turned and roared as it took a look at him. Hands and arms out wide, claws extended, and panting a long, heavy trail of steam from its open maw. We could all see it perfectly this time. As it stood in the white spotlights, nobody moved. Dee began whispering to his brother to back away slowly. Riz and the Dogman in an apparent stare-off competition. Yeah, Uncle Riz always was a crazy old man, but fearless nevertheless. Bro, come on, back away now," said Dee as calmly as he could. "Just hang on a minute," asked Riz, still with his gun trained at the Dogman's eyes. with their eyes locked on him. The dogman then snarled and, drooling, took one step closer toward the house, Riz instantly firing off 2 more rounds at its legs, almost like a warning rather than a direct hit, and it stopped. Then it turned so slowly it was creepy as fuck. It looked directly at me. With this look of pure enjoyment, it opened its mouth wide, so I know all of us could see its enormous canines. God, they had to be at least 5 inches long. Mother by this point was in hysterics. Slowly and surely it turned and began pacing around the house, and then turned and went back the other way, all the while its black piercing eyes locked on me. As it walked, it would make this strange yip sounds like a hyena, but different, and we could hear its heavy breathing with a wheeze also. We were trapped in our own home. Dee approached slowly towards his brother as it paced slowly in front of them. Again, it tried to advance the house, but Dee and Riz, firing in response, instantly stopped it. Each time, it would look at them and stare. It was beyond the creepiest behaviour I have ever seen, tilting its head ever so slightly and snapping its jaws at us, but eyes then always on me. Then it dawned on everyone like a shovel to the face. It doesn't want them. No, it wants me. As this dawned on everyone, Dad, still holding me, said he was going to get the truck and back up to the house. Dee, Riz, I need you to give me some cover, he said, with a look of pure desperation painted across his face. But as soon as he said this, for whatever reason, the dogman turned and walked back into the tree line. As it did, Dee and Riz both fired off shots in the air above its head. It's leaving, said Riz. Oh, thank God, said Mother. Wait, said Dad, look. As we watched it sink back through the thick foliage down into the ravine and towards the creek. Eyes! I've got eyes! Pairs of reddish eyeshine suddenly opened all around the tree line, causing even Dad, Riz and Dee to lower their weapons in pure shock. There had to be at least 12 or 15 sets of eyes just within the tree line, some high up in the trees, others on ground level, but all looking directly at us. What the hell do we do? Said Mother at this incredible and frightening sight unfolded before us. Again, the night was completely silent and still. All we could hear was the heavy bipedal footfall the dogman made as it went back into the tree line, and our own hearts pounding in our ears. Just then, the trees, yes, trees, parted, and this enormous goddamn ugly beast stepped out into the open, still just outside of the spotlight garden. It's him, said Dad, with a shaken voice and a gulp. What the fuck? Said the brothers, both perplexed by the sheer sight of the alpha male dogman. As they looked at this giant force of nature, they could see it had many scars from no doubt mating battles against other males, but more evident was the long and gross burns, scarring that ran from its tapered waist up one side to its face. Clearly, this was the very one Father had thrown the oil lantern at and set on fire all those years before. Dee and Riz raised their weapons at the ready. It looked over at them with a look of pure hatred and bad intent. What do we do now? Screamed Mother. We don't have a choice. We fight. We stay and fight, said Dee loudly to everyone. That right there is a walking, eating nightmare. We can't outrun it. It will separate us before we even get to the trucks. He's right, said Riz. That there is a Type 3 canine dogman, and they are not the nicest of dogs. Easily, an alpha like this must weigh 500 to 700 pounds of pure lean muscle. His strength is in his hocks and legs, and they help him cover ground easily and fast. We're talking up to 65 miles per hour. Plus, all that power, he can jump 30 feet plus in no time at all, said Dee. His brother agreeing and adding, Places like Taylor, Mississippi are crawling with packs of these dogmen. These are, in my opinion, the worst of the worst. Their attitude and ferocity is unmatched. They are skillful and, most of all, vengeful. We definitely have a problem right now, added Riz. Whilst all of this was going on, Dad had rounded up empty bottles, rags and fuel and was wasting no time in making Molotov cocktails. It worked before, god damn it's going to work again, he said. The immense Dogman growled at a deep, window-shaking growl that we all felt in our chest. I remember my teeth vibrating together slightly from the immense growl. Then it turned and also began pacing back and forth, almost like it was trying to size us up. Dee and Riz both trained their guns on its chest, following it as it did so. Out of nowhere, Dad screamed, "Get the fuck off my property, you demon from hell! I've got more if you want it!" With that, he launched 2 lit bottles at the beast, and they smashed at the ground as the Dogman rose back and moved just in time. The flames soared up into the air and across the grass where it had stood. I have to say, I think the old man got the jump on him, because he honestly looked shocked and disgusted that Dad dared to do such a thing to him. And again, haha, yeah, Dad always was a crazy son of a bitch. Riz and Dee both joined and threw 2 more, giving us a sort of divide of fire on the west side of the property. It was a sight to remember. The huge Dogman backing away as flames roared upwards, but its enormous height over those flames had it basking in a strange orange and red glow among the pitch black night surrounding our property. "It's moving back," screamed Dad, and with a huge howl it turned and jumped the remaining 15 feet into the tree line. Immediately the other dogmen disappeared into the darkness of the deep ravine. I think we all let out a huge sigh of relief as it did so, followed by the others. We could hear them for what must have been almost 10 minutes, getting further and further away, deeper into the forest, branches being snapped and moans or roars, which I could only guess was them communicating. My mother was in bits and collapsed as soon as they left for the forest. Dad just about caught her before dropping me on my head. Yeah, she was exhausted, and we moved her to the bed soon as, until the next morning. Dee, Riz and Dad all came and sat with me to see how I was doing. After all, it was apparent the only interest they had was with me. Why? We didn't know. Only we could assume it was because Dad had burnt it all those years ago, and also the brothers had killed another of the pack. "We need to get you out of here, and your mother, first light," said Dad. "Agreed," said the brothers. "But I don't want to, Dad. Come with me then," I said. "No, can't come with you, son. Now you do as you're told, okay?" he said with his eyes worried, sick. "He's right. You have to go with your mother and keep her safe. Keep her smiling," said Dee. "We will take care of this, and before you know it, you can come home and finally be safe," added Riz. The brothers took up guard at the windows again, and Dad tucked a blanket over me on the couch and sat with me, his hand on my head running through my hair like when I was a baby. The fire outside still glowed against the living room wall, dancing flickers of orange light all over it. As I was drifting into sleep after the exhausting night, there was an almighty sound of gunshots, automatic gunshots and large caliber rifles ringing out into the early morning hours, then accompanied by distant roars and growls. I swear I could hear the screaming of men as shot after shot went off. Dad and the brothers looking at each other in horror at the sounds coming from deep in the forest. "God damn it!" shouted Dad, the brothers now with heads low, shaking from left to right as the screaming died out abruptly, and only the yips and roars could be heard. Then silence. Wow, hope you guys are all enjoying the series as much as me. Now again, as I said at the start, I want you guys to decide what happens next. So if you could comment, like and share with what you think would happen next, I'll pick the best or most suggested idea and give a quick shout out to the person with the best scenario. Once again, thank you all for the support you give me and feedback to the series. It really, really is appreciated. And remember, above all, be safe, not sorry.